Welcome to episode 1013. It's Thursday, February 26th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners like you. Pick up a domain name for just $1.49 or get 30% off your next purchase at GoDaddy. All my GoDaddy specials can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Start supporting this show today by becoming a GNC insider at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Hey folks, got a great show lined up for you tonight. You know what comes next? Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran, and I'm just absolutely thrilled to be here with you this evening, getting ready to really kick things off and got a lot to share, a lot to talk about. I'm absolutely frazzled right now because just as we was getting the studio set up tonight, I'm kind of like this perfectionist when it comes to the gear. When everything isn't quite right, I have a tendency to kind of freak out and try to figure out what's going on. And I had a video channel that was down tonight, and I didn't need the video channel, but because it wasn't working, it was driving me crazy. So I was right up to the last minute here trying to get it fixed, and I did. A simple reboot of the computer fixed it, but it's just, it's going to be one of those evenings for the show for sure. So all the Ohana and longtime listeners and viewers of the show, thanks for being here. And if you're brand new, this crazy guy behind the mic, we're going to have a great time talking about tech, and I want you to hang out. And of course, if you're brand new to the show, all you really got to do to get connected with us is to go over to geeknewscentral.com. And when you're on the website, it's just a piece of cake. All you got to do is follow the subscription links, iTunes or via an RSS feed, and get subscribed to the show. And it's simple there. And if you have challenges, in other words, if you don't know how to subscribe to a podcast, click the more information on the website, and it'll basically take you to a page to tell you exactly how to subscribe to this show. And we really want you to do so. We want you to subscribe. That way you'll never miss a single episode. We want you to sign up for the newsletter as well when you're over there, because the newsletter is going to contain everything that I'm talking about today's show. They get sent out immediately following the show. I think, with the exception of the last show, I think I forgot to send it. But, definitely do that and stay abreast. And, of course, just get over to the website again and get subscribed, and that way you'll never miss a single episode. For those of you that are currently subscribed, we want you to share this show with your friends, family members, people that you know. Tell your Android friends how to subscribe to the podcast. That's our mission right now, is to bring more Android listeners to this show and basically balance out the 85 or 84% of you that are iOS users that are tuned into podcasts. So anyway, that's what that's the mission here this year, is to bring on more Android listeners. All right. Hey, of course, again, warm welcome to everyone, and we want you to follow me on Twitter or email me here. geeknews@gmail.com is a place to send an email address to. Twitter's @geeknews. You can follow me on Facebook, Google+. And really, if you want stuff to make the show, it's critical that you email it to me. Sometimes the stuff that comes in Facebook or comes in on Google+, I see it, but please do like hey, Todd, this is for the show, so that it really catches my attention. I have a lot of people sending me stuff all the time, and I don't know which of it's for the show and what isn't. Some of it I see is kind of cool, but it maybe not. Anyway, just, do it that way. That way I know it's from the Ohana, from the folks that are listening and watching. I think that's the most important thing. Of course, you can watch the show on the Tech Podcast channel on the Roku, Samsung Smart TV. Of course, if it was working, I heard some people were having problems with Samsung. We'll talk about that during the show today. Google TV. That's another place you can watch the show. Tech Podcast channel. And just go to the Tech News section, and you'll find this podcast, and you'll be able to tune in, listen or watch you basically kick back in your lazy boy. Of course, today's show is sponsored in part by our good friends over at GoDaddy.com. And, GoDaddy's been here with us 9 years and, whoa, what are we, about 8 months now at this point? And, boy, I tell you, I really do appreciate their continued support of the show. And we've got some deals, and I'm hearing rumors. Okay, you've got to act fast. The rumor is the 30% code is going away soon, like at the end of the month. And I'm hearing we're going to have some new deals, but that 30% off code, if you've been holding out, now is the time to invoke that code and get every penny you can out of it. GNC 30% off on all new orders, okay? So be aware of that, all right? Because that's a big one. Of course, our $1.49.com, Geek149. We've got the get a domain name, website builder, and Microsoft Outlook email address for $1 a month by using the GNC GOT code. Again, that's $1 a month with a free domain, free Microsoft Outlook email address, website builder. So $12, and basically you've got a platform there to build on. Of course, $1 a month WordPress hosting, $1 a month economy hosting, all these with free domains, Press4, Geeks 12. We've got the, and then here's some more 50% off codes, 50 host 7, 50 WSB 7. So again, we're hearing some of these percentage off codes are going away. So make your move now, all right, over at GoDaddy. And we want to thank GoDaddy for being a sponsor here. We want to be able to continue to be giving you guys great deals. So these have been in place for a while. So these things are going to be flipping, and it's time for new deals to come on. I don't know. They haven't told me yet what the new deals are. But as soon as I know, I'll be letting you know. But definitely geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy is the place to go to get the codes. They've got great products. I'm a big fan. Been using the GoDaddy line of products and services for a long time. As we've talked about for quite a while now, they've took the jiggle out of the product line and have definitely become more straight focused. And I think it's really a good thing that they've done that. But definitely these products and services are meant to be used and build a great product and great built site. I know I own 200 plus domains. I don't necessarily encourage all of you to go out and buy 200 plus domains, but find that domain that fits you and your family, your wife, your spouse, your kids, and get those picked up. All right, Geek149 for $1.49.com. And I want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here at Geek News Central. So, I really, things have been, with my wife house sitting and the kids being in town. My youngest son's home with me tonight because they had some stuff going on, and so they're all coming back tomorrow. Everyone's going to be back at the house tomorrow. I got the house prepared for them to arrive, but it's just been, I'm not kidding you, it was like last night, it was one thing after they had a new client come on from Australia, had 2 or 3 different things going on. I had an advertising campaign that basically was dropped in my lap. It's been like this pile it on week. I did manage to, the taxes were out for the corporate taxes. They called me today, said they're ready, come get them. I was like, wow, that was fast. And so I'm going to go pick those up, and I got a big pile of paperwork. You guys can't see it. It's behind the monitor of the personal tax stuff, so get that ready. But I'm really excited about the personal tax stuff because I'm going to talk to you guys about the solar situation. I've got 32 panels on the roof, and I checked it today. I haven't checked it in about a week, but right now and they haven't changed the meter out. These idiots, I'm really getting over on them right now. But my meter's 100 kilowatts lower than when they installed it back in December. So I'm not going to get another bill. It's going to be my $19.95 connection fee. And so now is time the tax man cometh, and the tax man maybe going to giveth some credits. and looking forward to see how much an offset it makes on my tax bill. As you guys remember, I paid for half, I financed half, so now it's basically time to figure out, all right, how much of the actual tax refund or tax credits are going to help me bring more money in, and how much am I going to pay this thing off. But I'm really excited about seeing where those numbers come in. I'll share that with you guys when we get done, so that you guys kind of know financially where a solar system on your roof comes in. Is those of you that haven't been following, 32 panels, $32,000, with the cost of electricity in Hawaii, about a 3-year, 6-month, 3-year, 8-month payback until you're zero, and then it's all plus after that. For me, just gaining that $400 and some that was in that electricity bill back to me has made, even though I financed a portion of it, the finance payment is much, much lower. It's half of what my electricity bill was. Now, obviously, I've got a 0% or a 1% loan right now. So the goal is that's only for 12 months, and it goes up to 3.7 or 4 or something like that. So after, I got to get that loan paid off so that, it makes more financial sense. But looking forward to see what's going to happen on the personal tax side when we go see the accountant here after the corporate stuff is picked up. But anyway, here I'm talking about money. It's just it's going to be kind of cool to see where this goes. But more importantly, listener support is appreciated. All of you that are coming on board as insiders is frankly it's very humbling for me. I definitely appreciate it. So, if you're thinking about becoming an insider, go over to geekandcentral.com/insider. That's the way to get connected and to, start your $2, $5, $10, $15, $25 a month contribution. We have levels there, people reaching levels. Stuff is now finally at the laser etch folks to get 3 of the clubs laser etched, to get those shipped. And so I'm looking forward to closing that portion of the 1000th episode out and be able to get all that stuff out of my hair and finally deliver everything I said I was going to deliver. Okay, so let's go ahead and skip on here. I think that was all in my stack. And those of you that are in the chat room tonight, Jason, thanks for being here. Anyone else that's watching live, come over to live.geekandcentral.com. We have a chat room. I will try to look over, but today was the day that the FCC executed the nuclear option and brought the hammer down on the internet service providers. Now, if we think back, this is just the beginning. This is the first missile that has been launched and exploded. The retaliatory strikes are already forming and coming. But if we think back to when we started talking about net neutrality on this show many years ago, little did we know that, after the initial FCC decision and then Verizon going out, and I bet you Verizon wishes they would have never brought that lawsuit against the FCC, and then going to the Supreme Court and the FCC's authority being overturned. And so that's what's led really to today. And not only that, just the, you think about the, Netflix having to pay a toll to the toll troll to get data to us that we want to watch at a speed that, it's not buffering. There's a lot of naysayers out there right now, and it's the talking heads are saying, oh my God, the sky is falling, and they are going to, regulate bloggers, and they are going to, and it's just on and on and on about these things that are going to supposedly happen on the internet. I know many of you are mixed. The Title II thing is definitely not the perfect solution. But let's just face it, the ISPs really did it to themselves at this point. And they really left, and this is we can all say this is definitely a political play, because the 3 Democrat commissioners voted for, the 2 Republican commissioners voted against. We've got the president saying this is a great win for America. Then you've got congressional reps today that are saying, oh, we're going to come after you, and if there's a Republican in the White House, we're going to overturn this. And it's on. And then of course, no one has really seen the full 300 pages of the report. It's going to be another couple of days before it's out there. But John Oliver, the HBO guy, in that basically came out and did the huge rant on his show last week tonight with John Oliver when, he basically did his montage, his 12 or 13 minutes of montage, just lambasting the FCC and basically emboldening the folks that were watching that program. And his comments and the commentary around it and everything really caused. That was when the FCC's site basically couldn't be accessed because there was too many people doing comments. His voice alone probably allowed like 45 to 50,000 new comments being made. But there's just all these things that have happened through the years that you and I have talked together about this, that we've all been worried about net neutrality. We see things going on that maybe aren't directly affecting us, not all of us. Some of you affected bad movie watching while there was that battle going on and while essentially Comcast was strong-arming Netflix. There was certain things. You're still getting your podcast. You're still being able to go to Google. You're still being able to go to your websites. So the net overall worked pretty good for most of us all the time. We all of course, always want more speed. All of us are speed maniacs when it comes to the net. So if the ISPs hadn't got greedy, and this is what it boils down to, we pay them, and we've talked about this many, many times, each and every one of you that are listening to me right now, unless you went to a library or mooched Wi-Fi off a friend, we're all paying to get access to the internet. And the last time I checked, at least here in the United States, we can go to whatever site we want to, do what we want, make comments, watch what we want to watch. The whole, it's pretty open. And but we pay to do that, right? We've talked about this many times. We pay a bill to do that. I got my cable bill right here. It's outrageous. I mean, simply outrageous how much I pay these criminals every month. But I do so because I want high-speed internet, right? But then they got greedy and wanted to charge someone else, and they wanted to have fast lanes and be able to, make everyone else's businesses maybe not be as good of an experience. And we as users of the internet, that was unacceptable. And we screamed and we hollered and we want net neutrality, and the nuclear solution by the FCC was invoking Title II. This is not over. Just let me read to you some of the. If you've read all this today, I'm sorry. The president came out and basically said that the FCC's decision will protect innovation and create a level playing field for the next generation of entrepreneurs. That statement I'm really agreeing with. We need this open and free back and forth on the internet. Title II may change some of that, but what was the other choice? That's the question. Jason says in the chat room, recent cord cutter here, no direct TV, going all online, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, and subscription streaming for various sports. So will you be affected, Jason? I don't know. But then AT&T immediately says, instead of a clear set of rules moving forward with a broad set of agreement behind them, we once again face the uncertainty of litigation and the very real potential of having to start over again in the future. Partisan decisions taken under 3-2 votes can be undone by similarly partisan 3-2 votes only 2 years hence. An FCC's decision made without clear authorization by Congress, and who can honestly argue Congress intended this, can be undone quickly by Congress or the courts. So that's AT&T, and they have more to say. Republican lawmakers say, we will not stand by idly as the White House using the FCC to attempt advanced rules that imperil the future of the internet. But the problem is, and this is where I have to, they haven't helped the situation either. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap at this point. Verizon mocked the FCC by doing a basically typewriter font, warning of Internet Throwback Thursday. saying the FCC chose to change the way commercial internet has operated since its creation. Changing a platform that has been so successful should be done, if at all, only after careful policy analysis, full transparency. Basically, it's true that 300-page document didn't make its way out, and by the legislature. Well, they own the legislature. That's the problem. Verizon, AT&T own the legislature. They own it. We don't own it. They own it because they give big, fat green checks with lots of zeros behind it to all these politicians. Comcast, of course, says today the FCC voted 3-2 to adopt the new open internet rules. Today the FCC voted 3-2 to adopt new open internet rules that we suggest and agree should be put in place as legally enforceable by the FCC. Unfortunately, the FCC also decided to reclassify broadband as telecommunication service under Title II of the Communication Act of 1934. We are disappointed that the Commission chose this route, which is certain to lead to years of litigation. Well, they have to toe the line and not say too much because they're trying to get Time Warner bought, right? So then we flip the political spectrum and we hear from Senator Al Franken. And I think this is the first time I've heard from him in a while. He says, this is an enormous victory. This is the culmination of years of hard work by countless Americans who believe, just as I do, that the internet should remain the free and open platform that it has always been. Net neutrality is important for consumers, small businesses, and startups, blah, 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 blah. Kickstarter said a free internet with equal access for all is vital, diverse, and vibrant culture of open exchange. We're grateful the FCC has heard the millions of voices who believe in a free and open internet. Netflix, of course, net neutrality debate is about to pick. The net neutrality debate is about who picks winners and losers online, internet providers or consumers. Today, the FCC settled it. Consumers win. The MPAA says our narrow focus throughout the network neutrality debate has been to ensure that the rules do not thwart efforts to prevent copyright infringement or otherwise chill production and distribution of innovative content like Geek News Central. Until we see the order, we cannot know for sure, but the FCC has previously indicated that it would continue to make clear that the rules do not apply to unlawful transmission content and refrain from regulating parties on the edge of the internet, such as content creators. Senator John McCain. Internet should be free and open, not regulated by federal bureaucracy. So, okay. Flip back the other way. Microsoft is pleased, but looks forward to reading the rules. Tumblr calls today monumentous and thanks the FCC for being brave. NCTA and the big cable, boy, they are upset. Broadband for America, upset. MoveOn.org, very happy. Wireless carriers say the FCC just put 5G at risk. CEA thinks it's the wrong approach. Same goes for U.S. Telecom and the telecommunication industry. So the lines are still divided. But these rich companies want to become richer, and they want to be toll trolls. They want to charge on both sides of the fence to give access to the internet that we want, and basically having their cake and eating it too. It's until the Supreme Court probably rules on this, it won't happen. Now, how does the news people report on this? New York Times says, net neutrality victory, FCC classes broadband internet services a public utility. New rules prove 3-2 along party lines are tend to ensure that no content is blocked and the internet is not divided into pay-to-play fast lanes. USA Today, net neutrality is also called open internet as a principle that internet networks are equal, available to all types of legal content generators. Internet service providers, mostly large cable or telephone companies, would be prohibited from discriminating against content by slowing transmission speeds or seeking payment in exchange for faster lanes. The Guardian says activists and tech companies have been keen to protect the principles of net neutrality, idea that all information services should have equal access to the internet. Reuters, and it goes on and on. CNN, the new rules known as net neutrality act to provide equal opportunity for internet speeds and access to websites. Let's see here. Let's go back and let's find a right leaning. They don't have any. Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, NPR, all about, basically saying, this is a good thing. Now, I know there's some of you out there that are pissed. I know some of you out there are not happy with net neutrality rules or Title II. I also know some of you concerned about the rhetoric being put out that basically is saying this is the end. The end is here. It's the beginning of a big battle, is what it really boils down to, folks. It really is. Now, Mark Cuban, he was like, he's freaking out. He's saying, nope, 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 nope. This is not a good thing. And he has his reasons for saying that. And he's a big investor in Netflix, which is interesting, that he would say that this Title II is not good. I think what people are worried about is the unknown and what's in the 300-page document. And they're worried about what could happen next. Will the FCC then start saying porn sites you have to be licensed? Will they start asking bloggers to register? There's all this stuff with Title II. This is what the naysayers could happen. I don't think we would put up for it. Obviously, I have a domain name, geeknewscentral.com. You do the lookup. You know who owns the site, right? So it's not like I'm hiding anywhere. Some people do hide. They have, hide behind corporations and so forth. If you want to see what an FCC net neutrality meeting looks like, the folks from The Verge have put up they live blogged it today. I didn't even know they were live blogging it. So, pretty stark. Looks like a judge's chambers is what it really looks like here. And it gives you an idea of lots of people in suits. I'm so glad I live in Hawaii. You know what we wear here? Shorts and aloha shirts and polo shirts. You get in a suit here, it's like it's a rarity. The only time I wear suits, I go to the mainland. That's one good thing about living in Hawaii. I don't have to wear a suit. And then, of course, all the lawyers. And guy's got a cool coffee cup. It's a Reese peanut butter coffee cup. And so anyway, it's just lots of this, lots of people in suits, lots of lawyers talking. Kind of a boring thing. So if you want to read that, it'll be up in the show notes for you tonight. And of course, the FCC just overruled state laws as well that were blocking municipal broadband. I think we all can, I'm behind that 100%. But immediately, there's a new bill that's being introduced by seven Republican lawmakers introduced a bill on Thursday, just hours of the FCC vote, that would prohibit the agency from preempting state laws that limit municipal broadband networks. The main sponsor of the bill are, listen to this, Representative Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, Senator John Tillis of North Carolina. Well, those are two states that have huge muni broadband projects that they're trying to get launched, underway, or keep online. Isn't that interesting? I bet you if we look at the donors to those two individuals' election campaigns, I bet you we're going to find big fat checks that have been written by Comcast and Time Warner and all these nefarious public policy groups that are funded by some of the same exact companies I just said a few minutes ago. So, they're going to try to usurp immediately. What's going to happen? They can submit all they want. In this case, the president's going to go veto. He will not allow this, but it's going to go to the court system. We have another election. It's hard to say where this is all. It's going to be a football back and forth. But one thing we can all agree on, it's a historic day for the internet. Net neutrality wins. Now what? What now? And how ugly is it going to be? We should take a poll. I'm predicting, let's think about this. A couple of years to get through some of the lower appellate courts. There'll be some injunctions. They're going to be, they can't. I'm Supreme Court another year. I'm going to say 5 years. I think this thing is going to be in court at least 5 years. And then my next prediction is that there, depending on how the elections go for the next presidential election, there will be a some sort of compromise bill that will be put forth where they'll have a little bit of the net neutrality, but take out all the pieces that basically are, have any tooth to it. So we're probably in the end, we're going to end up in 5 years. We're probably going to end up with the same exact stupid language that the FCC tried to put in place in the first place. That was basically overturned at the Supreme Court in the Verizon suit. So in 5 years, I bet you we'll be right back to, right where we were. That's kind of my prediction. One thing's for sure, it's going to give me lots of stuff to talk about for the next 5 years. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Opposite of pro is opposite of progress is Congress. Yes. yes. Opposite of progress. I keep telling you guys haven't been listening very closely. We need to fire all of them. All of them. If any Senate, any House representative is up for re-election, we get rid of them all. All of them. Democrat and Republican. We get rid of every one of them. Go through a couple cycles and get rid of all of them. That'll wake them up. But we will never do that. People can't, they won't. It'll never happen. But, fire them all. Get them out. Term limits. Let's say you can't be a senator more than 2 terms, and you can't be a House representative for more than 3 terms, or maybe 2 terms too. Term limits for all my friends. I think we all can agree to that. How come we can't get that through? Because they'll never give up their perks. It'll never happen. All right, enough on net neutrality. All right, March 9th. Apple fans, you know what's coming. Got your $349 ready? I don't. The question is, should I buy it? The Apple Watch is coming. March 9th, Apple is widely expected to let us know exactly when its much anticipated watch line will ship and how much all the new models will cost. But the real question, and the question I continue to wonder about, is when is the Apple TV going to be opened up for apps? Is it time? It's been about 3 years since we've had a real big, fat, juicy update for the Apple TV. There's got to be. We have to have an update. It's very logical that Apple's going to add gaming, at least to its list of features, and I'm hoping we'll be able to have apps on it too. The experiment time is over, Apple. It's time. It's time to come out with your hammer and to, start competing with Roku. Start competing with Fire TV. Start competing with the other dozens of devices out there. You are falling behind. I don't ever go to the Apple TV no more as my primary device. I go to Amazon Fire TV and I go to the Roku. Those are the two devices I'm using right now. I've got a Nexus box in the bedroom. I haven't even opened it. So we'll see. Now, we could get a new time capsule, maybe an Airport Extreme. There could be new iPods. There's not been refreshed there. Maybe a new 12.9-inch iPad Plus. On and on and on. What is the list going to be? We don't know. We'll see on March 9th. But I think that's the day I'm flying back from Phoenix. Let me look at my calendar here. I'm actually going to be in Phoenix during the announcement I'm going to be driving the 2015 Ford Edge fresh out of the factory. So I'm looking forward to doing that drive. But anyway, March 9th is the next Apple event. All right, there's exciting stuff coming from Space News. This mystery spot on the dwarf planet Ceres has the scientists just all going absolutely crazy. And I wanted to add another couple of words there, but got to keep the show family safe here. So as the Dawn probe gets closer, there's two bright dots on this dwarf planet, and or this moon. And what is it? Is it, it definitely looks like volcanic action, but dun dun dun. The image of Sirius taken by NASA's Dawn probe from a distance of 29,000 miles showed two mysterious bright spots on the dwarf planet's surface. And they're thinking volcanoes in craters. But they need to get closer. And they're getting closer by the day here. And they say the brightest spot continues to be too small to resolve with our cameras, but despite its size, it is brighter than anything else on Ceres. Andrei Nothus, lead investigator for the framing camera team at Max Planck Institute for Solar System Research in Göttingen, Germany. He said Dawn will be investigating the many mysteries of Ceres, the largest body in the main asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, in earnest soon enough. Well, maybe. Maybe it's something else. Are we about ready to have a close encounter of an unknown kind? That is a question. Is that what's going to happen? Is that really the lights are on? Come on down. Say hello. We've parked ourselves over here. It's an interesting development, my friends. What is this going to be? What do you think? Yes, I'm absolutely dreaming that it could be aliens, but more than likely it's just a hot spot coming out of this mysterious dwarf planet. New Space Telescope could be 1,000 times sharper than Hubble. So a new type of orbiting telescope could take images very much sharper than those snapped by Hubble today. Researchers have dubbed their concept what's called the Argaroscope, after French scientist François Argot, who was the first to discover that light waves diffract around a disk. The gyroscope would consist of an orbiting space telescope sitting tens of thousands of miles behind an opaque disk of up to 0.5 miles wide. Wow. Okay. So anyway, that's the dream that they want to be able to put in space. We'll see. It's a concept. It doesn't have a plan yet. It doesn't have a budget. Are you not surprised that YouTube is still not making any money? I'm not surprised. Bandwidth costs cash. Servers cost cash. Encoding costs cash. Who watches advertisements and clicks on them in YouTube? Nobody. But, so the bus, if you think about it, despite Gangnam Style videos having over 2 billion views and hours and hours of media being uploaded every minute, most of it never watched, YouTube is basically zero, and they're not making cash. So they're hoping that the Music Key subscription service, among other ideas, can hold the tide of red ink back and turn that sea black. Also, they're cracking down on ads in live videos like this and in videos being put up. Now, technically, this is my show's pipper, so I'm allowed to have that. That's not an ad. But if I switch that, let's see if I don't dare, because you can't do that no more. If I put a banner up there on the video that is let's say a GoDaddy banner, I'm now in violation of YouTube rules. I can put text on the bottom of the page, just like I'm doing right now for those of you watching. I can put geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy there. That's legal. I can do text, but I can't do a graphic of a business that's paying me to do so. Now, if I want to do, if I want to do news and I want to bring up a website, or if I want to, if I'm talking about a product and I want to bring the product up and a logo up that way, it's legal to do that if I'm doing news. But I have to be very, very careful to make sure that it's not can be contrived as a sponsored spot, because and basically YouTube is trying to retake over that part of the sponsorship business. So we'll see how long the free ride continues on YouTube. If they continue to burn money like this, at what point are they going to have to change it and ruin the experience? They say only 9% of the 9% of the users on YouTube watch 90% of the videos, and I thought that was a pretty incredible number. Switching topics, the BBC's warning that the license fee may soon come to an end, and that they may be changing the model. And UK lawmakers are looking at that. The license fee that funds most of the BBC's programming has long been a contentious issue in the UK. For some, it's a safeguard for the broadcaster's most valuable work, while for others, it's an increasing outdated and unfair tax penalizing those who only want to watch other channels. Today, the UK's Culture, Media and Sports Committee weighed into the debate, declaring that it doesn't see a long-term future for the license fee in its current form. It admitted there are few viable alternatives for the fee in the near term, but emphasized the current model was becoming harder and harder to sustain. So they're looking at doing like a single household tax based on number of devices folks have, and that would be everyone would be applied. And they're telling the BBC they're going to have to roll some stuff back. The planned BBC One Plus channel might be a poor use of the current funds going into the BBC. So, the BBC's current royal charter, which sets out its public service obligation, will expire at the end of 2016. So when the next official review rolls around, it's unlikely that people will see any fundamental changes to the license fee or the way BBC is funded, but it could in the future. So those of you that don't like the license fee in the UK, you need to keep the press on for a change. On the bot front, police have killed a money-making stealing botnet that infected about 3 million PCs. Europol and police forces across Europe have shut down what's called Ramnet. It's a botnet that infected up to 3 million computers worldwide. The virus generally installed by email phishing attacks or rogue sites, and was mostly used by criminal hackers to steal banking info. If you're so foolish to click the program, and something, it's easy. I almost did it the other day. It's so easy. And actually, I did one a couple months ago, just by mistake. It's so easy just to, just when you're in a hurry, that's when you get popped. But anyway, they wiped out the botnet. There is a Microsoft-specific utility because it only targeted folks that were on Windows. So I talked a little bit about Samsung, or hinted at the beginning of the show. Well, Samsung's not-so-smart TVs have basically been out of business for up to 2 days. So if you have a Samsung Series D and E TV, and you've had trouble connecting to the net with it, apparently there's some DNS stuff going on. And then there's a workaround, but you got to make some adjustments in your router. So it's really kind of a techie fix. But if you've had problems with your Samsung digitally connected TV Series D or E, be aware there is a big issue right now that's still affecting folks. So 2 days, the device or the television has not been able to call home to mama. So it's a pretty big deal, and a lot of people are upset. Google has announced they're investing $300 million in Solar Cities, basically funding round, where they were they have been raising up to $750 million to fund and finance about $25,000 residential solar projects, with Google investing nearly half the fund. Now, here's what Solar City does. And this is an option for some of you that have long payback periods for your solar system. Here in Hawaii, Solar Cities does this all over the place. They come in, they put the solar panels on your house, and then you sign a contract for 20 years, and Solar City becomes your electric company. And typically, the rate that they charge you for electricity is about half of what you would typically pay. Now, they get the tax refunds based on those installs. So you don't get the tax refund. You basically just pay rent to have those panels on your roof. Only good thing is they do come in and fix them. It's everything is covered by them, and so what's going on here is that Google is going to be able to claim federal tax credits worth 30% of a solar project's costs. It's going to help them reduce its tax burden. And for tax equity investors, typically enjoy returns of 8 to 10%. So this is huge returns from a tax percentage for the folks at Google. But the $450 million that was remaining to be funded comes primarily from debt financing, according to Solar City spokesperson Jonathan Bass. Solar City's got stuff everywhere, here in Hawaii at least. It's huge. I see the trucks all over the place because not everyone can afford to, pay out, like I did, the money I did to put solar on my roof. And it's a good alternative if you're in that situation. All right, Pebble had a Kickstarter, and they raised $10.3 million in like 2 days for their new watch product. So if you are basically a Pebble fan, and I've got a Pebble watch here, you want to see what those of you that are watching? It's not charged, and the screen's fine. It just looks funny in the camera, but yeah, it's not even charged. So $10.3 million with 29 days left to go. I don't know what what options are left, but it is a colored watch, and so people are very excited about it. So they didn't have to get very many of their installed base to actually come in and buy the next version, but they did real good on getting funded very, very quickly. All right, Ars Technica has got an article in. This one is an interesting one. You guys know, we talked about this guy that basically was really manhandled by the FCC. Is Anyone Up? The guy that was behind the revenge porn website who got really hammered. Well, he's facing 2 to 7 years in prison, and he's going to be sentenced at a later date. But this guy's been doing all kinds of things in lieu of going in jail. He's been trying to get Google to take down any links to basically anything that deals with him and basically the hearing and the decision against him prior to him getting ready to go to the slammer here. But this guy is just scum of scum. He is the absolute. These are the types of individuals that their legacy needs to remain on Google and on the web for a long, long time. And he's going to go to jail, and he's going to spend some time he should, for what he did in exploiting women and stealing content and putting pictures online that were private, but were stolen and put basically put out for the world to see. I'm just ladies and fellas, stop. All right, I know you get excited with your significant other, but quit taking naked pictures of yourselves. All of you, stop, please. If you do that, use a camera and share an SD card. And don't lose it. That's probably worse. But, with the way people are getting hacked these days, this digital trail of sharing pictures like that, it's not good, okay? Find another way, live video or something if your mate is off somewhere and you're looking to spice things up. The picture's it's too dangerous for that digital, that digital image to end up somewhere where you don't want it to. And then you're having to explain to your mom and your dad and your boss and your siblings why your naked pictures on the internet. Please be careful out there. All right, building a custom WordPress site. Well, a programmer showed us all the tools that he used. So if you're a programmer out there, this is a pretty good list of stuff. I'm not a programmer, and some of the stuff I'm looking at, I'm like, I don't know what that even means. But if you are, this is a good article for you coders out there. He goes through a variety of tools that he used in building a custom WordPress website. Those of you that are using a Google Photo or Google Hangouts on Google+, Google may be splitting Photos and Hangouts. So they may be broken out. So that's an interesting move here. So the current iteration, again, of Google Plus may not be around for much longer. An exclusive interview with Forbes, Google's product czar, Sundar Pichai, and I'm sorry, Pichai. I know I'm destroying your last name. I'll never get a job over there. Says the company may break out features like Photos and Hangouts from Google Plus. He says communication is a key area of concern for the company, and it may change some things up with Google Plus. Yes, they're going to rip it apart. Please don't. I like Google Plus. You can take the pictures out. You can take Hangout and make it a separate product, but please don't destroy Google Plus. All right, Panasonic is revealing which of its 2015 4K Ultra TV models will run the Firefox OS. So if did you know that there's going to be a TV running on Firefox OS? Well, it will. According to Flat Panels HD, the CX850, CX650, and the CX800 have been confirmed for the U.S. market running Firefox OS. And I'll have the link up in the show notes. There's going to be some other TVs out there, too, with some different models. Vieira's. What else? Vieira has got a number of models as well. But anyway, maybe that is a Panasonic model, Vieira. So I didn't get to see that at CES. I must have missed that particular demo. So here's the question. Those of you that are Android users, when you search the Play Store and you're looking for an app, now there's no sponsored apps that are being listed. How upset are you going to be now that Google has announced that they are going to start allowing those with the big pocketbooks to be able to basically, if they search the word, bus app, someone with a bus app can pay to have their app show at the top of the search results. It won't necessarily be the best rated app. It'll be an app that's basically been sponsored into that spot. So, I understand what Google's trying to do. They're trying to make money in all ways they can. But it'd be a big, you search the Apple iOS store, it sucks. Their search is the worst. You never can find an app. You have to go find it online, then link into it. It's never a good experience. But the Play Store app, I seem to always find the apps I'm looking for on that. And maybe, it's just Google's using their Google technology, but they're definitely going to use drop ads, sponsored apps at the top spot. So just be aware of that. Look for the little ad button coming to you soon in the Play Store. Google has built an AI, artificial intelligence. It's a computer that could probably beat you at playing some Atari games. We know that computers have already been beating humans at chess and Jeopardy, and now they can add one more feather to their caps: the ability to best humans in several classic arcade games. And these are pretty primitive. Pong, and what else? A couple of other games, but they were really pretty strict in what they let the AI system know. And this AI system actually, after a couple of weeks, got better. It learned by reinforcement, and it even learned some tricks that the humans that were playing against it didn't realize, and basically he played within the game rules, but did some stuff that made some people scratch their head a little bit, saying, wow, that's a new angle. So, we're getting there. I'm telling you, this AI stuff, it's going to advance very, very quickly. Pong today, a computer and weapon systems tomorrow, it's serious. It could get to that point. So we need to make sure we have constraints on any AI. All right, any of you use GIMP? You know what GIMP is, right? It's basically a photo editing, and not even photo editing. It's a graphics program, and but there's a good article over on Yahoo talking about this month GIMP lost its user experience maintainer. Some people are cheering because the GIMP interface has at times been, a little underwhelming. And so everyone's saying, no, it's time to bring in someone that's in touch with the digital editing space, and they want someone that's going to be able to come in and kind of clean up the interface a little bit. They're saying the UI must be retooled for easier interaction. The UI needs a modern overhaul. On and on and on. Some of the same things I've said for many years. But if they pick wisely and they get someone that can come in there and create a better user experience, they may gain some more market share. But if you haven't used GIMP before, you got to go out and get it. GIMP. A little bit of more news for Samsung. Samsung has froze wages of all of its employees in South Korea. This is the first time the company has elected to freeze wages since the international financial crisis in 2009, which is going to show you how seriously Samsung is taking the recent downturn. And they've lost some market share, specifically business market share. But they're getting ready to roll out at the Mobile World Congress the Galaxy S6 and the Galaxy S6 Edge. And really, that success of that phone is going to really kind of set the tone on where they're at financially here throughout the rest of the year. So we'll keep an eye on the reception on that new phone. Hey, over on the Huffington Post, and I very rarely link to an article on the Huffington Post, but there's a good article by a French blogger who spent 90 days in New York City without internet, computer, or cell phone, and talks about his experience coming to America and finding an apartment and doing volunteer work because he wasn't legally able to work, so he did volunteer work and meeting with people and writing, and it's a pretty good write-up. And I think everyone should do a 90-day time away from the internet. It can make you realize that there's a lot out there to life that's still going on that we may miss when we're looking at our devices. All right, Gizmodo is saying Facebook's new suicide prevention tools finally get it right. And basically what this new feature is, if you see a friend who maybe be making some posts on Facebook that have you concerned, there is a way to basically report that friend to Facebook, and then Facebook's going to send them a message. And it'll say hi in the person's name. A friend thinks you might be going through something difficult and asks us to look at your recent post. And it says only you can see this. Anything you do here will be kept private. And it's basically, it's got an option to say see post or continue. If they click continue, they say, what would you like to do? You matter to us, so we want to offer support if you need it. You're not alone. We do this for many people every month. What would you like to do? And the first thing is they can select talk to someone, reach out to a friend or a helpline worker, or get tips and support. Learn how to work through this using some simple tips. Now, talk to someone is a link to the National Suicide Hotline, and this is I think this is good. I think and I think Facebook got this right here. There's a lot of people that scream for help. And if you just listen, when they're screaming for help, you can really save a life. So as you're on Facebook and on social media places and you see someone that, say, he's off or she's off a little bit, the normal stuff, it's always, good to send a message or a text or a call. How you doing? Are you doing okay? It may be just a difference. And even if it's, someone's just having a bad day, that's fine. We all have those. But at certain times, we need to watch out for our brothers and sisters out there and take care of them before they consider doing something drastic that has, fatal consequences. So, and I just say this, there's lots of people that listen to this show, and I encourage you, if you're having challenges, just ask for help. Nothing can be that bad out there that, there's always a better day ahead for sure. So, use the resources that are available to you and reach out to friends and family and clergy, or, call a hotline that they've got people there to help if it's needed. There's some stuff that, and I'm not going to talk about what this product does, but I saw something today that just makes me really wonder where we're heading as a civilization. products that are being sold that are just so, I guess for a better word, bad, that you get hyped up. I'm just some stuff. I'm ashamed really at this particular website that published this particular product, and they used a topic line that obviously drew me in, but it's one of these it's one of these things. It's just like they'll share and talk about anything on the internet these days, and people will build stuff that is just, for me, it's just off the chart. Wow. And I'm sorry, I'm being kind of cryptic here. I'm trying to keep the show child safe, but it just makes me really wonder sometimes, what's going through some people's head out there. So I'll stop. I'll move on here. This is a cool service, and I hope that I'm able to implement this for my company. But Google Search lets you hang out directly with businesses. So, oftentimes people will be searching for information, and boy, wouldn't you just like to be able to reach out and say hello to a company and ask them a quick question? I would just love to have this made available. If we had people available to be able to chat with folks when they need a little help, when they are searching on a search topic, I think it would be awesome. But they're basically going to start making this available to businesses, and you can basically respond and chat to the person right in a hangout. So we'll see where this leads, but I think this is a great offering, a great tool that Google could bring to the marketplace. All right, we talked about Lenovo and the Superfish style potential attacks. The EFF has unearthed evidence of possible Superfish style attacks in the wild, and it didn't take too long here for people to go after these unsecure machines. So if you've got a Lenovo computer and you haven't defected it yet or de-infected it yet, please get that done as soon as possible. Over on VentureBeat.com, iOS now has grown to 73% of enterprise share in quarter 4 2014. Android drops to 25%, and Windows Phone stays flat at 1%. So this was activations by platform, and we know Google's been on course of trying to boost Android use in the enterprise, but boy, they are just getting hammered. So if the enterprise usage is up, that means personal usage is up. So we'll see how it works out from just a consumer standpoint. But 73% of enterprise share in quarter 4, and then again, Android dropped to 25% with Windows at 1%. There's being rumors that Windows 10 is going to come with a brand new Internet Explorer with a brand new engine behind it. Microsoft has decided to start from scratch with a new web rendering engine for Windows 10 because keeping up with web standards while maintaining compatibility with older non-compliant versions of Internet Explorer had simply become too much of a burden. So that's good. They're going to be fixing long-standing interoperability bugs that they've had with other browsers, and so they're just going to follow the standards, and it's going to supposedly work. We will see. Nice to see them kind of address some of this stuff. If you have a website, it needs to be Google mobile friendly. So they're basically putting a ranking signal worldwide, and basically if your app or if your website is mobile friendly, they're going to take that into consideration in its ranking signals, and information from index mobile applications will also begin to influence ranking for signed-in users who have the app installed or who have an app installed on their phone. So this is big. So you just got to make sure that your sites are mobile friendly, and you'll get a little bit of a boost out of Google. Geek News Central is mobile friendly. You come to Geek News Central, it squeezes down. All you have to do is scroll, and you get all the content on the website in a font and size that you can read. So just try it out. Load geeknewscentral.com on your mobile phone and scroll it either top, up and down, or sideways, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right, Gizmodo's got an article from a guy that basically created a digital clock, and he did so by soldering well over 1,900 components to make it happen, and he did it in a circular fashion to, basically make it like a big clock. And boy, oh boy, whoever did this, and it's clean. I kind of blew this up. This nice, clean soldering job. A lot of work there. That was a lot of tireless nights and days and hair pulling to get that clean and look that nice. So absolute a piece of art. I would love to try to buy something like that. That would be something I'd want to have on my wall. And if you look at this picture of this thing, it's just holy smokes, incredible, and probably a little bit of overkill there in design circuitry, but it is really, really nice. And I would just wonder how much it would cost. I bet it's in the tens of thousands of dollars is what someone would charge for something like this. It's true a geek art there for sure. And also, last article tonight, for those of you that are in the sysadmin space, Google is sharing code to help server software digest HTTP/2, and this is going to help folks worldwide. And the software called gRPC handles remote procedure calls between servers and clients, such as browsers or mobile applications. Again, it's based on the HTTP/2 format, which was ratified as a standard earlier this month by the IESG, the Internet Engineering Steering Group. So anyway, if you're a sysadmin type, you definitely want to take a look at this. All right, let me load my email for today. I hadn't done so already, so it'll take just a second here for this to load. And Jason, I like your comment. Do you like him as your senator? All right, so let's see here. Let's go to GNC comments. And Sam should have contacted those of you that are waiting on cash. So, yes, cash is... What happened was, and let me tell you what happened to the $20 gift certificates, our Visa cards. I couldn't get them locally. And I found a place online. I ordered them and put the order in the addresses, and they refused to ship. So we're just going to send cash. I know people, you're going to get a $20 bill cash in an envelope from me. That's how I'm going to solve it. So just be aware of that, those of you that have cash prizes coming, which you're supposed to get a Visa share check card, but it just ended up being a big hassle. They would ship them to me, but they wouldn't cross ship. It was nuts. All right, I want to thank Jeff for his link on the Apple Spring event on March 9th. I appreciate that. Got an email from Carl. He said, "Hey Todd, do you happen to know if reformatting a flash drive will wipe all potential malware from it? I'm guessing the answer is no, but I thought I would ask, do you have a reliable link for more info on flash drive threats? By the way, if you're ever in the Fort Wayne, Indiana area, please look me up." Hey, dude, I grew up right up the street, man. I grew up in Coldwater, actually Quincy. So that's, right up I-69. You get off at the Copeland Road exit. You go about 5 miles to the east. You go about 2 miles north, and you're within a stone's throw of my house. But so Carl, I'm in that area whenever I come back and see my mom. But here's a skinny on these flash drive threats. If you get this true malware situation where a flash drive has been purposely infected, it's going to be in the chipset. Now you can still get a virus on the storage portion of the USB drive. But here's what I'm just going to tell you. Don't pick up USB flash drives. Don't share them with people you don't know. You find one on the ground. It's awful tempting to go stick it in a machine, throw that thing in the trash. Buy from reputable USB drive manufacturers, and you'll be safe. You'll definitely, anytime I put a flash drive in a computer, I've got my antivirus software set up to automatically scan the drive when it goes in. I do a quick check, but if there's malware on it, it will probably be embedded in the chipset. Again, I doubt that you're going to, it's going to be a rare occasion that you're going to find them. But if you just find a USB drive anywhere, don't stick it in your computer. Please, please, please don't. And but yeah, next time I'm that way, I usually have meetups when I come home. So if you want to actually drive up to the Coldwater area, we'll do that. Anna McCaskey from SDR News is pretty close as well to where I live. All right, you got an email here from Ross. He says, "Hey Todd, here in Canada we don't have a national photo ID card." And I'm going to blow this, Ross. Of course, Ross is from St. John's, Newfoundland. Did I blow it? And but anyway, yeah, no national IDs in Canada. Also got an email from Christian, and Christian's in Phoenix, and Ford's going to have me stay at the W, and I'm going to be staying at the W in Scottsdale. Everyone's saying that is like a way nice place. I have no idea. They're paying for it. But if anyone else is in the Phoenix slash Scottsdale area, here's the plan. Don Bain, the Gadget Professor, and I are definitely going to be probably going to dinner and then to his place on Monday, the 9th of March. But I know that I'm going to get done relatively early in the afternoon. So if any of you are in the Phoenix, Scottsdale area and you want to come hang out, and I know it's a work day, and I'm not sure exactly when Don's going to pick me up, but I would say if we could maybe as early as possible, let me know. 3 to 5, something like that. I don't want to go much later because Don and I are going to want to run around. We can have drinks or something on me at the W. And just let me know if you're in that area. I'd love to meet up with some of the Ohana. So, Christian, thanks for the email. I definitely appreciate it. I know that you're within a couple of blocks of the W where you work at from time to time. So, that's cool. Also got an email from Greg in Michigan. Say, "Hey Todd, usually I use my Android phone to listen to Geek News Central. However, your stats might not reflect this usage because I use Podget on my Linux desktop to download new shows from the RSS feed." Well, that's cool. We track a variety of different devices. I don't know if we're actually tracking Podget, but I'm going to look in my stats and see if I can dig that out. Also got another email from Greg. Says, "You asked for an email about the FCC plan. I'm not sure if it will ultimately favor the consumer or be twisted by the big corporation lawyers to screw us in a new way." And that's probably the truth right there, Greg. So, again, everyone that sent emails and comments, some of you sent stuff, so don't even read it on the air. I appreciate that. But we're going to wrap the show up here. geeknews@gmail.com is a place to send your comments, positive or negative. And we will be back with you, of course, here on Monday. Got a good guest tomorrow or Saturday on the new media show. We've got the CEO of Spreaker is going to be on. He's going to be dialing in from Belgium. So I think he's in Belgium. If I got that wrong, I apologize in advance. But he'll be on the show with Rob and I on Saturday. I'm also going to be interviewing one of the team members over at GoDaddy. So I'm going to have a special segment on GoDaddy. I don't know if I'll roll it in the next show or not, but plan on doing an interview on some of their initiatives over there and trying to just kind of get caught up on what they're doing. But don't forget about the percentage off codes. Those are all changing. We're going to have new deals here come the first week of March. So just be well aware that that's coming down the line. And I'm sure we're going to have some great deals for all of you to sink your teeth in. But get that 30% code used now, folks, okay? Do it in a hurry because it's going away. And when they kill it, it's gone. It doesn't work no more. But if you liked the show today and thought I did a good job and added value to your day, become an insider. geeknewscentral.com/insider. And we appreciate your contributions. $2 a day gets you in at 6.7 cents a day. I hope I'm worth $2. And $2, $5, $10, $15, or $25 is definitely the denomination that's appreciated the most. But one-time donations are welcome as well. geeknewscentral.com/insider. Until next Monday, everyone, thanks for being here. We'll see you then. Everyone, have a great weekend. Be safe out there. And be fun watching this net neutrality stuff as the lawyers go to work. Everyone, take care. We'll see you next time. Aloha. See you later, YouTube. Thank you.